comic book fans, welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Now I got a great pick of the week. Let's get right into it because I'm excited, because it's quite the jam-packed issue. From IDW, we have Locke Key, Keys to the Kingdom #3, written by Joe Hill and art by Gabriel Rodriguez. Now, this whole entire issue takes place in the month of February, and pretty much it is 28 issues packed into one. So there's a lot of drama, a lot of different keys that we see, and basically we start out with hockey and we end with hockey. We have Tyler on the hockey team, their team's getting destroyed. However, his new battle scar that he got from that game is quite the turn-on for his girlfriend, Jordan. So, you know, they have that relationship. Speaking of relationships, Kinsey really wants to get closer to Dodge, and she even has the key that opens people's minds, and you can take out memories or whatnot. Dodge does not want her in his head because, you know, Dodge has alternative motives, and he's around this family for a reason. So they break up, and so she goes with her friends, Scott and Jamal, who are, you know, they both have crushes on her, but then they get to all play around with these keys and trade memories. And so, you know, they trade happiest memories of their fathers and whatnot. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, you see in between, like, the main relationship stories, them finding keys, and then these keys doing different things. They might be battling a rose garden. It looks like they got in a fight with a bag of cats. Or they might have their own, like, armory of mystical, like, necklaces or helmets or cufflinks. And so usually you get one key per issue, but in this one you get all these little adventures going on the side, and you'd like to see them expand on these adventures, but you know, you only have so much time, so much space. And so since we're introduced to all these new keys, it's a good indication of what to expect in the future. Them, you know, using these keys for different objects or different timings, etc. But anyway, in the end, it doesn't work out well because there's jealousy with relationships. Jordan fucks Tyler over, making him go back to himself, but wearing the necklace of strength that they got while going through life, or the hockey team. So it's a great issue. Gabriel Rodriguez hits it out of the park with his art and all the different keys and what they do, and Joe Hill's just a friggin' genius for thinking up of, oh, well, why don't I have a key for this? Why not a key for that? Continues to be the greatest series coming out of IDW right now, and I'm going to be very sad when it's only a couple volumes left before it's done for good. But hey, that TV show's on the horizon, so let's go support that instead. Now, on to the Fast Five. First up, from DC, we have Batwoman #0. Yes, it's straight out of the pages of Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III's Detective Comics run, and now it's just J.H. Williams III back doing the story and the art. But you have Batman, Bruce Wayne, who's been out of the loop. He doesn't know who this person is, so he's doing reconnaissance on this character of Kate Kane the entire time, and getting to know her motivation, why she's banging Batwoman. He has to put two and two together, though, just to make sure the socialite, Kate Kane, is actually Batwoman. And so this is a good jumping on point. If you missed that detective run, it explains to you, you know, why she's going after the religion of crime, how is she getting funded by all this stuff. And for me, I just love J.H. Williams III's art on that run, and you get more of it in this 0 issue alone. So could you only imagine what the rest of the run's going to be like? Blew me out of the park, art-wise, fantastically gorgeous. If you're not picking this up, do yourself a favor and do so. It's going to blow your mind when it becomes a regular series soon. Next up from Boom Studios, we have The Traveler #1. Now this is another one of the character creations from Stan Lee. It's being written by Mark Waid. And basically we have this guy who goes back in time, saves this woman. We don't know why. We don't know why another guy is invading this town, and he seems to have his way with magnets, destroying all these things, and yet let alone why this traveler, this time traveler, is defending, you know, the humanity from this dude. You find out that he's after this group called the Split-Second Men, who are able to go through time in one place. It could be a volcano, it could be a city, it could be a construction site, and, you know, terrorize chaos. Yada, yada, yada. He saves 2 different people from 2 different enemies in this issue, but with the second enemy, who uses electromagnetics, he is kind of taken aback when he kills this one federal agent who he seems to know pretty intimately, for all we know. But it was something new, it was something interesting. Got my attention with all the action going on in this first issue, so if you're looking for something different, Mark Waid, you can't go wrong. Check out The Traveler, I highly recommend it. Next up from DC, we have Justice League Generation Lost number 14. Now, this is being written by Judd Winnick, and we have Captain Atom 100 years into the future because he absorbed all that nuclear blast from Magog's energy rod. And so, again, usually when he absorbs a lot of different whatever, he can go forward into the past, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, so he's 100 years in the future. He teams up with the Justice League there because they're fighting Omegas. Well, I'm sorry, not Omegas, but Omax, who are, you know, put in charge by Maxwell Lord. Max is on, his base is on the moon. The Justice League there is trying to infiltrate it. And on the Justice League, we have Damian Wayne as Batman. We have Power Girl, the Cyborg Creeper, Blue Scarab, Plastic Man, John Jones. So Captain Atom needs to figure out why this whole war and this landscape is the way it is. Like, who died, what event happened, and you find out at the end as they're trying to blow up the moon, making sure Earth is saved, that Maxwell Lord killed Wonder Woman. And then Wonder Woman's people, they rose up against humanity, and then that was the domino that set everything off. So now it's up to Nate to go back in time again and stop Maxwell Lord. You know, first of all, get people to know who Maxwell Lord is and stop him from doing that, from killing him. And it would be ironic, oh, it would be poetic justice if Max were to kill Wonder Woman. He would snap her neck as well, like she did to him. But yes, good issue nonetheless. Look at that cover, gorgeous stuff. Next up from Vertigo, we have Scalped number 43. Now, this is a nice little character piece on Sheriff Wooster Carnow, or he is of the Whitehaven Sheriff, and he is a badass in this town. He was in Vietnam. He killed all these gooks, and all the locals there respect him. They think he's such a badass individual. But the truth is, Carnow's probably not a badass. He can talk the talk, but he can't really walk the walk. Well, this U.S. Marshal comes to town looking for an escaped convict, Eugene Evers, and he just lets the sheriff know that I'm going to be in the area operating. And this kind of, you know, he makes Carnow feel a little insignificant because they look through his records, and this guy was in Nam the same time he was, only he is a John Wayne. He's like a modern-day cowboy, total badass. So Carnow has to feel like, no, I got to prove my worth, and he goes down to track down this fugitive. He gets the jump on him, and the marshal ends up saving his ass. But it shows a nice little character piece of Carnow. He's not a badass, really. And, you know, when a man is in a certain situation, how is he going to deal with it? In this situation, he didn't deal with it so well. But another great issue from Jason Aaron in the Scalped universe. Again, shows you why it's one of the best series going on at Vertigo right now. And finally this week from DC Comics, we have Detective Comics 871. Now, this is a very significant issue. You know why? Because there's a new creative team. It is Jock on art, and Scott Snyder, the writer from American Vampire, on, well, he's writing it. So anyway, we have this little boy who has the Killer Croc mutagen in him. How the hell did he get that in him? So, using the newly established crime lab put forth by Wayne Enterprises, Commissioner Gordon and Dick find out that it was, you know, put in him. By who? Who knows? But it is the same mutagen as we've seen in Killer Croc. So they go confront the boy's butler and parents. Mom is outfitted with Mad Hatter's little, you know, mind-controlling chip. And so she goes after Batman, and then she kills herself. So it's apparent that the civilians are somehow coming across the same kind of technology the villains in Gotham are using. So now Batman has to figure out, oh, okay, well, there's this corrupt cop who was, you know, in charge of evidence these couple of days. I'll go confront him about it. And from the corrupt cop, he finds out that there's a new villain in town. He's called the Dealer, and he sells the villain's, you know, toys to the highest bidder on the black market. So now Batman has to go and find this dude before more villain toys get into, you know, civilian hands. Gorgeous art by Jock. He knows Batman. The whole tone of Batman is dark, you know, scary. It's villainous. Gotham, shitty place to live. Jock captures that entire scene and landscape and just makes that, oh, it's just a great Batman tone. And then Scott Snyder has little jokes in, I mean, it's not just a joke issue, he's a great writer, but it's the little things in this issue that really made it really enjoyable, like Commissioner Gordon looking up and Batman's still there. Bruce Wayne, he's out of here. Dick, he's, what? I'll just leave now. He's a very polite kind of guy. But yes, great issue, bang for your buck. I can't wait to see what this creative team has in store for us in the future. Something tells me it's going to be fantastic. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, head on over to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can read the Book of the Month reviews, you can write us a review on iTunes, and also, if you have an iPhone, you can get the Cammy's Comic Corner app. You can help support the show out that way. And not to worry, Android users, I'm one of you. We're going to get an app in the Android market, lickety-split. Also, thanks to Rising Sun Creations at rsc-online.com. They have the best of U.S. comic books, manga, and collectible toys imported straight from Japan, all on their online store there. And if you're in the San Diego area, stop on Mission Valley. They'd love to meet you. All the titles that I talked about this episode, they have available at their store. So that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. Tune in for the book of the month coming up for December. It's a great one. I can't wait to tell you what it is. But until then, this has been Cammy's Comic Corner. I have been your host, Cammy. Sayonara, suckers.